Hi, this is Miss Feldman Tentori, and I'm going to take you on a video walkthrough of Ebusiness Assignment 2. This is due on Friday, the 7th of December 2018 by 5 p.m. And it is 40% of your module. The grades will be on Osiris when we've graded them, and it's made up out of 3 different sections. Firstly, there is the report, and that is the implementation, including a link to your website and a digital copy via the Blackboard Dropbox. There will be a link to your screencast, and there will be a link to your website. So the report is the core of it, but you also need to record a screencast and have a website. We'll talk through those. So in assignment 1, you documented a business opportunity and analysis for an existing business. So you chose a business and you used a business model canvas, you identified 2 personas. So now you should have a really solid understanding of the business and their ICT and e-business requirements, what they're currently doing, what they could potentially be doing, and you should have done a bit of research to back this up. Now you are going to develop your digital skills and you are going to build a new website for a similar business. Now, obviously, with these websites being live, you cannot, and I repeat, cannot copy the existing business. There are a very small number of students who have approached me and may still approach me about building an actual website for a particular business. That you need to discuss with me, but for the majority of you, you will be building a website for a similar business, and I'll talk you through that. And you will be writing a second report and documenting this process and what you've learned from it. Most of you are working in your teams of 2. You will stay in the same team of 2 that you had for assignment 1. If there are any issues, please email me. If you are a Weaver student, you will submit this individually. Take a look at the module description on Blackboard if you'd like to see the learning objectives. So the report is a professional business report. It should be around 10 to 20 pages. We've kept that quite broad because, as you'll see, there's quite a few templates you'll be using, screenshots, you'll have a cover page. So within that page range should cover what you need to do. It needs to be written in correct English, and we have the IB checklist on Blackboard if you'd like some guidelines. You'll build a 10-page website. Some of you will have some experience with this, and for some it will be brand new experience, but it's a great skill to have when you're a business student. Up until this year, we have specified, well, for the last few years, we've specified that students use WordPress. This year, you have the choice. It is a free website tool. There's several out there, and all the information you need to do this will be given in upcoming lectures and workshops. Then what you'll be doing is recording a screencast, just like I'm doing now. I use Screencast-O-Matic, and you will just talk us through your website. A few students last year just did a walkthrough, as in there was no voiceover. We need a voiceover as well, and what you're doing is just highlighting a few of the reasons you made the design decisions, how it relates to your report. You don't have to go through it in great detail, just a few highlights. In your pair, you decide which of you will do that or whether you'll do that together, and we will give you resources on Blackboard and help you with this in lectures and workshops. We've given you quite specific details to work through and what to expect. So you literally have a checklist here that you can work through. And I won't read through it in great detail now, but I suggest again that you print this off and that you work through this. We will cover these in the online lectures and the workshops. You should also still be doing the online Google Digital workshops, which will help with a lot of these. And I've tried to make it as easy as possible for you to understand what we expect so that you can then focus on writing your report and doing your website and screencast. This is how the grading is broken down, and if you look on the last page as well, we also have a grading rubric which corresponds to what I've done up here. So firstly, you'll have the website and there's some basic essential requirements, and this is 30%. So you need to build this website, you need to have the screencast, it has to be written in your own words, taking SEO into consideration in English, The reason you did all these personas in the beginning was so that you understand your target audience, and there has to be some kind of balanced amount of text with consistency in the font size and format, and we talk about that more down here in the website design. But firstly here, the introduction, business overview and goals will be the first part of your report. Well, technically this will be, but this is where you really get stuck into it. See here where I refer to templates. When I first started teaching this a few years ago, I would give this checklist or I'd give these instructions, but students sometimes found it difficult to remember what needed to be included. I would like you to be able to focus on building your website and literally making sure you cover all of these sections. So I've made it really easy for you and given you templates. So here you have template 1, template 2, template 3, template 4. These will be included in your report. Most students will simply include these tables, which is fine, or you may decide to lay it out differently. That's totally up to you, but this is the information that we need, and we've given you guidelines along the way. So in your introduction, business overview and goals, this is your introduction, and this is what will help you with that. We'll come back to that in a moment. Where you have your business goals. The information is coming from your first assignment. So you would have had a business model canvas and personas. We're still grading these assignments as I record this, but if you had a sufficient grade for your first assignment, then these are fine to just carry over into your appendix. However, if you didn't have a sufficient grade, then you will need to talk to us about redoing these. Otherwise, you're building a website based on an insufficient understanding of the business. Again, you cannot rebuild a website for the same business, so you'll be doing a similar one. I'll explain that more in a minute. Website design, so we will give you much more information about this later in a separate lecture, but understanding what makes a good website and why you would make those decisions. You will need to create a digital marketing strategy, and it needs to be a professional report. It needs to be submitted via Blackboard, and please don't leave it to the last minute, because that will be setting yourself up for dramas if something goes wrong with Blackboard. Now, your first template here. So when you download this document from Blackboard, you can just delete all of this stuff here for yourself and start your report with this. So you will need to make it very easy for us when we're grading to have a link to your working website and a link to your screencast. You can put that on YouTube if you wish. Most students have done that in the past, or there's other services that you can see that you can use, but I need to be able to click on that link and watch your screencast. It all needs to be in your own words. This is our standard confirmation that you have written the report. And then once you have received your grade and you've had your grade for a month, we would like you to delete the actual website. So the eBusiness overview here, this is the name of the business you use for assignment 1 and their website link, and just a little short couple of sentences from your first report and where they're located. Then if you had a sufficient grade for persona 1, being sufficient being 15 out of 25 or above, then you simply just carry that persona over into an appendix in this assignment. Same with your business model canvas. If you receive less than that grade, that means that your understanding was not sufficient and you will need to see your lecturers about redoing this. If this is your own business or you have a direct connection with the business, talk to your lecturer. As I said earlier, a few students are working on real live websites, and this is the section where you need to describe that to us. So if we have given you approval, then this is where you write it, and if not, simply write no. Now, this is where you change things slightly. So let's say you have done a hairdresser or a restaurant or a hotel or whatever your business was. You are going to need to change it slightly, and you're going to need to change it enough so that an original business would not be upset with similar information being online. So for example, if it's Jack's Hairdressing in The Hague, then you're going to make it slightly different, Tim's Hairdressing, and you're not going to use their address. You can use either a fake address or you can use the university address. However, the business model canvas and personas still need to be relevant. So this fake new business that you're creating is to show us that you can build a website, but you are not to run into any copyright issues with copying from the original owner. So you do not use their name, you need to change it, you need to create a basic new logo, but the concept of the business model and the persona should be similar. But this is also where you can get a bit creative. Describe to us what changes you would make, and this is where you can imagine if you owned the business. So if you did the analysis of, say, a restaurant and you thought they were doing a great job at what they were currently doing, but they might, another idea might be that they should offer kids parties, then this is where you can incorporate that kind of small changes. Remember again though, if you make any changes that are major, your personas and your business model canvas still has to be relevant. So this is the section where you describe that, and understanding creating a business that doesn't directly have a problem with the copyrights of the original business is also a good skill to have. So for example, if you were to go to the Chamber of Commerce and try and register your new business, if you were too similar, you're not allowed. So keep that in mind. Then you will create SMART goals, a primary and secondary goal of either the broader marketing plans, but most specifically, we want the website included because you are building a website. So you can base this on what you thought the original business was doing well, or you may here make new recommendations. So that's the change from the current business to the new business. And if you have any questions about that, you can ask in the workshops. The next template is talking about the website design requirements. This won't make a lot of sense until we actually release the website design lecture, and we will talk through these. But we will give you a model called the CRAP principles. You need to make sure you use images that are not copyright, whether your website's responsive, what it would actually cost to build, and the maintenance and measurement. So you'll come back to that later when you've got that information. The digital marketing strategy, including your SEO strategy and at least 5 top keywords. So this section you can make quite extensive here. The Google online workshop you've been working through should give you a lot of information that you need here. But essentially you need to say whether you will use this tool, yes or no, and then you need to give some information about yes, no, or why. Don't just say yes, we'll use it. Yes or no, and even if you say no, you need to justify that. So for example, if your target market is, I haven't looked at the demographics lately, but let's say 18 to 25-year-olds, then you may justify that you're going to use Snapchat because a high proportion of that target market may be using Snapchat. If your business is in China, for example, you may have an other here where you include WeChat because WeChat is the most widely used app over there. So this should be really stretched out probably to at least 2-3 pages, if not more. And what we would like to see, even though I haven't given you a template for it, is every business report should have some kind of referencing. So where have you made these decisions? And again, you can stretch these out as much as you like, or if you prefer to write it in report format, you can take these questions out and just put it there. But you need to justify those decisions, and by justify, you need to do a bit of research and prove why you should be doing those things. Then you'll write a short conclusion. So here the professionalism includes should include a conclusion and some recommendations. This is also preparing you in the future for your thesis. And we recommend that you have a challenges section because self-reflection when you're learning something new, particularly building a website, if you've never done it before, you will have challenges. And one of the best ways to learn is get really specific about what it is that was the challenge that you faced and how did you overcome that. So for example, if you're brand new to WordPress, you may find it completely overwhelming at first. And one of the ways that you would face that challenge, of course, is asking your lecturers or listening to our lectures. But you can also find, say, an online course or use the help section of WordPress. Or you could ask a fellow student that's got a bit more experience, or there may be other ways that you overcome that. So that is assignment 2. It looks like a lot because we give you these templates and a lot of guide through. So that's why it's so long. But the goal is actually to make it easier for you. So you're not writing your report from scratch, you're really filling out these sections, but we still expect a little bit of substance to that if you want the higher grades. Read through the rubric in detail, and please come to your first workshop with any questions that you have. Check your schedule, because I believe with the ThinkFest that's being held on the 1st of November that there are no workshops in the first week back after the autumn holiday. The week after that, we are due to have the live Google lecture on SEO and SEA. Then the workshops will be after that. So you cannot wait until that first workshop to start working on your assignment, or you're going to be getting really behind and making it very difficult for yourself. So you need to start on this assignment straight after the autumn holidays. You can ask online, or ask in, I think we have a Facebook group set up for this, or on Blackboard, or email your lecturer. But hopefully you will also enjoy doing this assignment. A lot of students have given very positive feedback at first, and one of the best pieces of advice I can give you is just take it step by step. Learning something new like building a website will be a little tough at first, and converting what a current business is into kind of a fake hypothetical business to build a website on can be a little difficult, but we're here to help you. So ask us if you need help. All the best with it, and I really look forward to seeing your assignments.